Do you know that feeling when something important is about to happen, but you're not sure if it will improve the team or just create more doubts? That's exactly how we feel right now. There are changes happening, tough decisions being made behind the scenes, and many rumors circulating. Some make sense, others seem risky. And as fans, all we want to know is simple. Are we approaching another championship, or are we betting everything we've built so far? This off-season is anything but calm. It's full of tension, big decisions, and exciting stories. And the next few weeks could define everything. If you feel the same way, like and leave a comment telling me how confident you are about the future of this team. Let's go! The Kansas City Chiefs have officially released Mike Dana, and if you read between the lines, this isn't just a routine release over salary issues. This could be the first domino in a much larger off-season overhaul that could completely reshape the defensive line in 2026. According to the provided transcript, the decision was justified as necessary. Dana, a four-time AFC champion and two-time Super Bowl winner with Kansas City, simply didn't live up to expectations after signing a significant contract extension. In 2023, he recorded 6.5 sacks, which helped justify his salary. But in 2025, the numbers told a different story. 25 total tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and only 1 sack in 15 games. Injuries didn't help. Calf and pectoral problems limited him, but the drop in production was undeniable. Financially, the Chiefs free up approximately $8.9 million in salary cap space with this move, although about $2.2 million remains in dead money. And here's where it gets interesting. Even after restructuring Patrick Mahomes' contract to save about $43 million, Kansas City is still likely to struggle with salary cap space. This shows that it wasn't just about performance, it was about survival. And if Dana leaves, what does that mean for Charles Omenihu? The tone of the transcript suggests that his future is also uncertain. The Chiefs may be preparing to turn the page completely at the edge rusher position, especially with the rise of Ashton Gillotta, who reportedly demonstrated great potential and showed enough growth to make the coaching staff believe he can get more for less. But that's only half the story. Because while the defense is shedding pieces, the front office may be flirting with a decision that could send shockwaves through Chiefs Kingdom. Rumors have linked Kansas City to Rasheed Walker, currently with the Green Bay Packers, and projected to command somewhere between $82 and $100 million over 4 years. Read that again. 4 years. Up to $100 million. And this is where comparisons start to feel uncomfortably familiar. 3 years ago, the Chiefs handed Jawan Taylor a 4-year, $80 million deal with $60 million guaranteed, hoping he would solidify the left tackle position. Instead, he settled at right tackle and struggled with penalties, becoming one of the most flagged linemen in the league. Now, according to the transcript, some analysts see striking parallels between that situation and the potential pursuit of Walker. Walker's 2025 Pro Football Focus grades, a 65 overall, ranking 52nd out of 89 tackles, pass blocking at 70, barely above league average, and run blocking at 55.4, ranking 71st. 5 sacks allowed, 9 penalties. Sound familiar? Meanwhile, Kansas City already invested heavily in Trey Smith and Creed Humphrey. They drafted Josh Simmons in the first round, and he reportedly kicked ass in his rookie season. Jalen Moore remains under contract. Depth options exist, so why spend premium money again? That's the tension running through this entire situation. Is this smoke without fire? Or is Brett Veach preparing to double down on protecting Mahomes at any cost after past offensive line collapses cost them championships? Because, let's be honest, every Chiefs fan remembers what happens when Mahomes doesn't have time. And then there's the emotional storyline. The Chiefs are reportedly monitoring the rehabilitation of Tyreek Hill. Yes, that Tyreek Hill, the cheetah, the homecoming fantasy. Hill suffered a catastrophic knee injury, ACL tear, MCL damage, dislocation, and his recovery timeline remains murky. He turns 32 in March. Medical experts have called the injury potentially career-threatening, yet he's been rehabbing in Kansas City and even changed his social media profile picture to a Chiefs jersey. Is it calculated? Is it nostalgic? Is it realistic? The transcript makes clear that while the Chiefs are monitoring the situation, nothing is imminent. The idea floated is similar to how teams handled Odell Beckham Jr. in previous ACL recoveries. Wait, evaluate explosiveness and consider a low-risk deal later. But would a 70% version of Tyreek still be better than the current wide receiver depth? That's the million-dollar, or perhaps vet minimum, question. And this is where the off-season becomes fascinating. Cap maneuvering, emotional reunions, draft strategy, edge rushers like Akeem Messidor and Zion Young emerging as potential replacements. Every move connects to another. The release of Dana isn't isolated. It's part of a chain reaction. And depending on how the next few weeks unfold, free agency, legal tampering, draft positioning, we could be looking at either a calculated retool or a risky repetition of history. And here's where this whole situation starts to feel like a chess match instead of random off-season noise. Because once you move on from Mike Dana, once you accept that the Chiefs are trimming salary and resetting parts of the defensive front, the next logical question becomes this: how are they replacing that production? And are they going to do it smarter this time? The transcript shifts toward the draft, and that's where things get really intriguing for Chiefs Kingdom. Two names stand out immediately: Akeem Messidor and Zion Young. Let's start with Messidor. He's described as more tape than traits, and that matters. Because sometimes in the draft, especially late first or early second round, teams fall in love with physical tools. But Messidor wins on production. In 2025, he posted 63 total tackles, 17.5 tackles for loss, and 12.5 sacks. That's not hype, that's disruption. A 37.5% pass rush win rate in his final collegiate games. Let that sink in. He's 280 pounds, he can line up at traditional defensive end. He can slide inside to 3-tech on passing down. He has a ghost move. He has a dip and rip. He has a swim. And more importantly, he has a motor that doesn't stop. Sound familiar? That's the kind of profile defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo historically values: high effort, versatile, disciplined edge players who can execute assignments and win inside out. And with Dana gone and the future of Charles Omenihu uncertain, Messidor starts to make a lot of sense around pick 40. But here's the wrinkle. He's 25 years old as a rookie. That's older than some third-year NFL players. And that creates a debate. Was his dominance partially inflated because he was physically more mature than the competition? Was he a man among boys? Or was he simply polished and ready to contribute immediately? Because if you're drafting for win now, while Mahomes is in his prime, maybe that age isn't a negative. Maybe it's an advantage. Now flip to Zion Young. If Messidor is tape first, Young is traits first. 6'5", long frame, violent hands, SEC competition. Massive statistical jump in 2025 after transferring to Missouri. 42 tackles, 16.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, 14 QB hurries, and even a defensive touchdown. His bull rush? That's his calling card. He doesn't finesse you. He doesn't dance around you. He disrespects tackle. But there are questions. If that first move doesn't win, does he have a counter? Is the pass rush toolbox refined enough to survive against NFL tackles? And then there's the red flag mentioned in the transcript: a DWI arrest after the Senior Bowl invitation. For a franchise that has dealt with repeated off-field headlines in recent years, that matters. Because roster building isn't just about talent, it's about reliability. And this is what makes the edge conversation so fascinating. Messidor might be the safer, more polished